Hello, Mr. Braddock here. Today we're going to talk about some different note-taking applications. These do require the use of a stylus, so you need either a touchscreen computer or a separate tablet that plugs in, a writing tablet. The first program we want to talk about today is Xournal, which is a free and open source program. It is primarily for Linux, however it does have Windows installers. I'm running Windows 10 on my Surface Pro 3, so it works fine here. So you see the window, it's pretty basic, real self-explanatory. Just go through some of the stuff. We have our pen. I am writing at a weird angle, so my handwriting will not be great. You have different thicknesses. So you've got thin, the thin one. And you have the thicker one. You also have different colors. Okay, so just some basic stuff here, nothing too out of the ordinary. You have your eraser tool, which again, it's an eraser. It works as it should. One of the cooler things here, we do have a highlighter. So it looks like it's gonna, not do anything nice, but it actually works real well. You can go up here and change the opacity as well. I actually kind of like how it works right now. We also have the ability to simply just type things. We can just type. Oops, I'll press that button. We can change our font and the size, as you normally can in anything. We have the ability to insert pictures as well. So, something like this, we can input some pictures. Oh, no, we have one picture. So there we go. One of the things I really like about Xournal is the shape recognizer, which hopefully will work. You have to draw semi-decent shapes. So if I want to do a circle, for instance, there we go. I should be able to do a square, triangle. Nope, gotta draw it better than that. Let's see, let's erase this real quick and try again. Triangle. There we go. I'm not sure what other kind of shapes I could do. An oval? No. I think it's just kind of those three basic shapes, which still is pretty neat. Like, circles are really hard to draw generally. We also have the ruler, which is really nice, being able to draw some straight lines. It basically pivots off where you first put your pen, so we can kind of create our own little triangle there. So those are some neat tools we have. Your lasso, so you can select, multiple things, like so. Just some basic tools we have here. You can go full screen. We can extend it out to the size of the screen. Again, pretty basic things. One of the really nice things we can do here is we can actually annotate a PDF. So let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to go. Okay, so here's something I used in a class of mine. So we'll zoom in here. And so this is really nice that we can annotate this. We can write all over it we want. Leave some notes where typing comes in handy, But we can just answer a question straight on here. Oops. Got ahead of myself. So we can write, just write directly on here. Hopefully better handwriting than I have. Okay. Really important things. This is where the highlighter comes in handy. We're going to pay attention to square roots. We want to make sure we know how to graph, like things like that. All right. So, solve. We can, a lot of neat things we can do on here. So annotating PDFs is great. We can go ahead and just see if this works. We'll save it. And then, whoops, yep. It saves as an external file. We can export it straight to PDF. There we go. That's what we want to do. So we'll rename this to, and we can go ahead and open it up. And now we have our PDF that we've annotated. We've highlighted and written. You can do a lot more. Obviously, leave notes is the main point of annotating. Okay. So Xournal's got, it's pretty basic features, but the features it does have, it does, rather well. I use this a lot when we're talking about going over homework assignments or any worksheets or anything like that, or exams. We just load in here and we write all over it. The other application I'm going to talk about today is OneNote. This is part of the Office suite, so not exactly free software, but it does work really well. The pen recognition here is a lot better. It's much smoother writing, as you probably cannot tell by how I've written here. But the great thing about OneNote is being able to set up notebooks, which you can see I have some notebooks, so I go to meetings, I have Algebra 1, Algebra 2, different sections of my notebook, so families of functions, sequences and series, and we have different pages within here we can make, for different days that we're doing things. So, geometric sequences, for instance, we have a bunch of notes here. We can scroll up and down all we want. We can go full screen, which is pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and make one here just for now. Call this testing. The name we type in up here. Call this recording, so we know when we did it. And there we go. We can write all we want. You can see you can tell now the handwriting is much smoother here. Just like in Xournal, you can change how we're writing. So thicker, highlight these. We have a blue pen, gray pen, green highlighter as well. We can try the highlighter here. This comes out just kind of. It's not as like the opaque as it was. It's more like coloring. So I don't know. I like Xournal's a little bit better. We have the lasso select, typing and erasing. So we'll go ahead and just erase this. Erasing in OneNote does entire lines. So if I have a continuous line like this and I go to erase, if I hit one point, the whole thing goes away. That's a stroke eraser. That's just what it is by default, I've noticed. You can do other erasers, but kind of like the stroke eraser because I usually make bigger mistakes. We also can just change our color and thickness here, so we can make giant ones all the way down to really thin ones in all the colors. You can also draw with your touch. You don't have to use a pen. You can use hands, your fingers, different shapes. Cool thing here we can try is ink to math. So, let's say we want to write an equation. And it does a pretty good job. It's not terrible. We see how well does it recognize stuff. Yeah, we're getting a little messy here, huh? That's a bad K, huh? There we go. That's better. So it's not perfect, but it reads pretty well. There we go. Oh, I just all rammed it into one line. That's not great. Okay, so we'd have to change that a little bit, but it's not bad. We also have ink to math, which you can, if you write neat enough, you could try that. I wouldn't, it doesn't come out great, as you can tell. It's a feature that has a lot to be desired. Still messed with a lot of my stuff. Alright, that's fine. So a lot to be desired with that. OneNote does have some nice its own features though. So it does have spelling, thesaurus. One of the things I like is being able to email my pages. This is great, especially when I take notes. If any students are absent, they can email me, and then I can send them the notes, which is really great. They do have to-do tags, different headings. You can insert, again, insert pictures like we did before. So a little easier to grab a hold of things in here to mess with. Scanned images, online pictures. We can insert some spreadsheets, any kind of attachment. You can even record audio and video in here. You can input equations, just in case you need one. Different bunch of symbols, timestamp stuff, which is actually pretty relevant if you're sending this to students or anything like that, or taking notes. If you're taking long notes, you can put the date in so you can come back to it later. Yep. So both OneNote and Xournal have some different features. Some pros and cons to each of them. I use them for different things. Like OneNote I use for just general notes in class, sending stuff to students. There's a lot more, it's much more fluid, so the writing comes out a lot nicer. Being able to send the notes easily to students just straight from the client is also great, especially because my school uses OneNote or Outlook for email, so it's all integrated with Microsoft Office, which is what my school uses. But Xournal has a lot of being able to annotate PDFs very neatly with the highlighting and everything. I like how it looks a lot better in here. The shape recognizer is really cool as well, because going over homework assignments, sometimes I need to draw what things look like. And I'm a terrible artist. I don't draw straight lines very well. I don't draw circles very well, unless it's on a whiteboard. So being able to have the shape recognizer is actually significantly useful. And that concludes this presentation.